Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis in the county sheriff in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, June the 16th, 2019. The time 3:56 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement, support, and continue to keep myself employed right here in the Memphis tri-state area. I'll continue to further my education at Monroe College Online. Continue to pursue my social research and be an administrative concentration mark. At the present time, I took a break from going to school, but in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College Online to continue to pursue my social research and be an administrative concentration mark. This year, in January 2019, I enrolled at Health Tech Institute of Memphis in the medical assistant program, 9-month program from January to October. I graduated in October and with a diploma as well as with the certification in medical assistant. The reason why I did that, back in 2009, 2010, I was a student at Remedy College, and I was enrolled in a medical building and coding program in Remedy College right here in this Memphis tri-state area. And like I said, I was enrolled in a medical building and coding program, which was a 9-10-month program. I graduated in 2010 with a diploma, but they didn't offer the certification, so I'm still having to pay those student loans back. I've never been employed in the healthcare field. So like I said, this year, January 2019, I enrolled at Health Tech Institute of Memphis in the medical assistant program. Now, like I said, I graduated with a diploma in October, as well as with the certification. I'll be able to be employed in the healthcare field. I'll be able to pay my student loan back. Then I'll be able to go back to Monroe College Online and pursue my social research and be administrative concentrated mark, as well as bachelor's degree and so on and so forth. And so I know that this weekend I didn't have to work, and the reason why I'm a little later than usual and start my video, because I was a little busy yesterday. Excuse me. And like I said, this weekend I'm off, Father's Day weekend. I don't have to work, so I'll be able to do 2 videos instead of 1. And I know, like I said, I'm a little later than usual. But yesterday, Saturday, I was a little busy, and so I tried to get a little rest. But I'll come back tomorrow. But we're gonna still get our Bible study in. We're gonna continue to speak out and complain about this so-called gang and mob and all this stuff. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do my Instagram. And then after I do my Instagram, I'm still going to do my Periscope. So let's go do that. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine, live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county, Sheriff, in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, June the 16th, 2019. The time, 4:01 a.m. First day, thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement and support. Anti-gang, anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now I know it's a little later than normal, than usual, than start my video, and the reason being, this weekend I'm off. This weekend I don't have to work, so I do 2 videos instead of 1. And yesterday, Saturday, I was a little busy moving around, running errands and things, and so I had to give me some rest. So that's the reason why I'm a little later than usual starting my video. But after I do my Instagram video, I'm still gonna do my Periscope video. But I'm gonna continue to complain. I'm gonna continue to speak out. People saying they're a gang, they're a mob, and they put the word "stir" on the end of it. And Merriam-Webster's Third New International Dictionary and Oxford English Dictionary, they give you the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, and any every other word. And so and then people say they're a boss, they're a goon, they're a thug, they're a crook, they're a hoodlum. People say they're a Mac, they're a player, they're a pimp, they're a whore, they're a hustler. People say they're a nigga, feel nigga, house nigga. That's what they say. Street slang ain't nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. People all over this earth communicate and use language. Now, examples of street slang: tic-tac-toe, hop, scotch. In music, examples of street slang: hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, do, wop, beat, bop. It's street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. We can go to Wikipedia, the quick reference, and we can look up money, currency, exchange. People all over the earth use money, use currency, use exchange, and they make up street slang for money, currency, exchange. Now here in the United States of America, examples of street slang for money, currency, exchange: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, dead president, Benedict. Street slang. Ain't nothing official right about no street slang. Now, a person that got education and gone to me, for example, graduated high school, got a few years of college. I haven't earned my associate degree in business administration, concentration marketing from Monroe College as of yet because I took a break from going to school. But I do intend to go back to school because I'm still having to pay those student loans back. And some people, they ain't graduate high school, they earn no high school diploma, they earn a GED. And then they can go on earn a associate degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, so on and so forth. Then you have those other people who just didn't go that far in school, period. Then you don't know reading, writing, math, you don't know science, you don't know technology, you don't know social studies. You don't know vocational and technical training. On-the-job training is on-the-job training. And, then you have all those other people who didn't graduate school, high school, earned a high school diploma. They took the ACT, SAT test, all that stuff. And then they earned a associate degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, so on and so forth. The sorority and the fraternity. That's the reason why the pre-13 colony history is so important. Now, the sorority and the fraternity. Harvard University is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776, the College of William and Mary was recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. And then you have the first women's fraternity, DePaul College, 18-something. Now, the basis of the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret societies. For example, the Eastern Stars, the Freemasons. Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390-1425, mentioned in the Holloway manuscript, the Regis poem, and the Cook manuscript. And also the Dowling manuscript. Then you have now these are examples of them old world secret societies. Skull and Bones, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, Thug Society, Private Scion. Excuse me. The Ordo Templi Orientis, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the Ancient Arab Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Redmond, the Peel Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Loyal Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of the Dice, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Fire Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veil, Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grain, the Ancient Order of Urban Names, the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite. Just a few. It's some more. It's just a few. It's some more. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand. When you say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirica. It's just a few. It's some more. So like I say, don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. Now, the sorority and fraternity, they commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. Those initiation rituals is devil worship. That's what that sorority and that fraternity, them old world secret society, some wannabe devil worshipers. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil, first of all. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. God is all powerful, all knowing, and he's all over the place. God everywhere. Then that God don't have no opposition. That's the end of the conversation right there and now. God does not have no opposition. God said, worship. Don't nobody worship any other except me. I'm God. There's no such thing as devil worship. There's no such thing. You made it up. You be lying. You be lying. That's what you doing. You a liar. And so the sorority fraternity hazing is a crime. The United States Department of Justice, hazing is a crime. And the sorority fraternity, they use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarette, cigar. They put the drugs in the cigarette, cigar. They indulge in gambling, gangs of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activities, burglary, robbery, lying, stealing, cheating, assault, rape, molestation, anything, bribery, extortion, anything that you consider a crime. The sorority fraternity gives. They indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. See, don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you because they're on the college and university campus like they trying to do us right. Well, I took the ACT and the SAT and I'm on a higher educational plane and I would not do those. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. They commit all kind of crime. And so don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. Get out the sorority fraternity. Don't join the sorority fraternity. Discourage others from being involved in the sorority fraternity. Expose the sorority fraternity. Renounce all of those that started and began the sorority fraternity, the old world secret society. Denounce the whole concept, the idea of a sorority and a fraternity, the old world secret society. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. There's no such thing. Now, the sorority fraternity, the businesses, companies, and corporations, see, the sorority fraternity, they work and they manage the businesses, companies, and corporations. They commit crimes. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocity. They violate human and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and the water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. All these people that you call, poaching. See, that's what all that animal sacrifice. And when you talk about human sacrifice, see, and then let me say this about animal sacrifice. The humane society, when you see people taking their animals to the humane society, see, people abuse animals in all kind of ways. And then, you take the animals down to the humane society, then the animals get euthanized over a period of time. See, these people, it's animal sacrifice. And then when it comes to human sacrifice, abortion, see, it's all kind of ways you can sacrifice. When you discriminate against other human beings, when you just completely violate other human beings' rights, it's all kind of ways you can sacrifice. When you discriminate against other people, this so-called street gang, see, all it is a human sacrifice. It's human sacrifice. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity, old world secret society. They some wannabe devil worship. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. This is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. This is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Now, those are just a few organizations that are trying to stop it. And there's some more. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Center for Human Rights. And also Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Voters, Earthwatch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, the Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network, Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society. And also Soil and Water Conservation, the Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. There are just a few. See, there's just a few. There are many more organizations that are trying to stop all the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity, these old world secret societies, they are committing. They're committing crime. You know, they work for the businesses. And you know, they work and manage for these businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check, and they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. These are wannabe devil worshippers. They want to be. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. There's no such thing. They want to be devil worship. There's no such thing. And let's see. That's the reason why all that stuff talking about the street gang and the street mob and all that. See, it's wrong. See, when it comes to a gang-based, a mob-based, see, that what the college and university campus is. And see, they use anything. See, the businesses, companies, and corporations, it's the same thing. See, the sorority and the fraternity, these old world secret society, they'll use the business, the company, and the corporation, and you know, that they work for and manage. That's considered a gang and mob-based. See? These so-called houses of worship, that's the same thing. It's like a gang and mob base. They're in and everywhere. It's considered a gang and mob base. They just bunch up together. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. No such thing. The East Coast, it's no such thing as worshiping the devil. It's considered to be a gang and mob base. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. But see, that be the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society. That's where it came from. Them criminals that came from the old world, them pirates, and where it came from. See, there's no such thing. Riding around on motorcycles, talking about you in a gang, in a mob. No such thing. Chicago, Illinois, not no gang mob base. Them same criminals that came from the old world that came to the East Coast. Them same criminals use Chicago, Illinois as a gang and mob base. There's no such thing, no folk gang, my people gang, no such thing. Los Angeles, California is not a gang or mob base. Them same criminals that left the old world, came to the East Coast, then expanded to Chicago, Illinois, and then they expanded to Los Angeles, California. There's no such thing, no gang and mob base. No such thing. There's no such thing, no blood gang, crip gang, no stone gang, no such thing. That'd be the sorority and the fraternity. Them old world seaside line. Some wannabe devil worship. Now this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. State names, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Now I'm scroll down to the bottom. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says see also, and then you have references and bibliography. Now where it says see also, you see a list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. See, this is really why it's so important. The pre-13 colony history. This is really why it's so important. See, it wasn't no African slaves here. It was the Native Americans. Then you had the people that came from the old world. For example, Europeans who came from the old world. And first they came to the East Coast. You had those explorers and things of nature. And came in contact with the Native Americans, the first Americans. And so, and then you start hearing about all these crimes and atrocities that were being perpetrated against the Native Americans and the first Americans. And see those pirates, Cilicia and Tarsus, they were already involved in the slave trade. And then some wannabe devil worshippers. People like the Perizzites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Girgasites, the Canaanites and the Amorites. Then you had the Midianites, the Moabites, the Philistines. See, it was all these people who would want to be devil worshippers. They would want to be devil worshippers. And then you had the after slave trading in Cilicia and Tarsus. And then you had the East African slave trade. Then you had the West African slave trade. Well, see, the West African slave trade, you had slaves leaving sub-Saharan Africa, Niger, Congo, and being enslaved, transported to what they call the New World, the Caribbean, Central and South America. And then you had the first slaves that came to the Americas. It was the pirates who brought 30 slaves from Angola. And those pirates, they wanted to trade for supplies with the settlers. who were here I think it was in Virginia. They were in Virginia. And so those pirates wanted to trade the slaves for supplies. And that's how the first African slaves started being brought to the West African slave trade to the North America. The first slave ports were on the East Coast, but you also had slave ports in the southern states. Texas, Galveston, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, the state of Mississippi, slave port. The state of Alabama had slave port. The last slaves to be brought to the Americas came to the state of Alabama. And also the state of Florida had slave ports on both sides. And Veracruz, Mexico, slave port. And see, that's where all that street slang that people be saying, that's where it came from, them pirates and them criminals. See, when you hear people talking about gang and mob and putting stir on in, and when you hear people talking about boss and goon and thug and crook and hoodlum and mac and player, you hear people talking about pimp and whore and hustler, nigger. It all comes from that streets, from them pirates and from them criminals that came from the old world. That's where it came from. So when you hear people saying all that junk, all you doing is repeating what the criminals taught you. It's devil worship. That's all it is, devil worship. That's what you're doing. You some wannabe devil worship. Now, when we talk about piracy and pirates, we can go to the quick reference Wikipedia and let me see here. Piracy. You see, you had all these different people during different periods. See, it's all wannabe devil worship. Now let me scroll down. Now you have the history, the etymology history, the culture and social structure of piracy and pirates. But when we go down to the bottom where it says see also, then you have references. Alright, let me see also, and then references. Right, okay, references. Okay. You have books to refer to. Let me see here. Okay. Right, those books. And let me see one. No, let me see here. Further reading. Okay, that was further reading. Okay. Okay, now I was down at the bottom where it says further reading. Okay, there's some more books down here. Right, okay. Some books I can refer to. Well, piracy. That's where all that street slang. And see, also, when we talk about devil worship, see, these man-made religious organizations, the Catholic Church, organized crime, devil worship. Now, the Catholic Church and all their particular churches, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, East Syrian Rite, West Syrian Rite. Then you have the Protestant Reformation Movement Church in 95 Thesis. That is the Catholic Church. It's organized crime, some wannabe devil worship. You have major branches and minor branches in the denominational movement. other developments and related movements. And then you had the American Restoration Movement, the Stone Campbell Movement. They talking about they going back to the first century church. They talking about the Catholic Church. Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote several letters. One of the letters that Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote, he wrote to the Smyrnaeans. And in that letter he wrote to the Smyrnaeans, he wrote the phrase Catholic Church. And after that, Saint Ignatius of Antioch, in front of 50,000 plus fans at the Roman Colosseum, was eaten alive by lions. Then you have, the American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, Churches of Christ, the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregation, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. And then you also have all these man-made religious organizations, such as the Mormons, Scientology. The Zoroastrians had a prophet. Islam, Prophet Muhammad, Sunni Muslim, Prophet Ali, the Shiite Muslim, the Baha'i, they had a prophet. The Sikhs, they have a prophet. He wrote some kind of book. Jim Jones, some kind of cult group. Jim Jones, David Koresh, for example. You have groups like the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad was more affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the new Black Panther Party, some kind of cult group. And you have all these various black Hebrew Israelites. For example, Ben Ami over there in Israel. And you have all these Rastafarian movement people. And then you have all these Pan-Africanists. They talk about the government, bureaucracy, democracy, the republic, monarchy, and so on and so forth. Theocracy, dictatorships, totalitarianism, and you have nationalism, fascism, socialism, communism, all this ism stuff. And so it all falls up under some wannabe devil worship. No such thing. See, you listen to Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, a liar, a murderer, the devil. He wrote all those epistles. And in those epistles that he wrote, he called himself an apostle. He wasn't no apostle. He's a liar. He's a murderer, the devil. And the man-made religious organization, they used those epistles that he wrote. Excuse me. One of the epistles that the man-made religious organization used, Romans chapter 16, verse 16. Salute one another with the holy kiss. The church, with the suffix es, churches of Christ, salute you. And also this sure. Another epistle that the man-made religious organization used, this Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul wrote, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix es of God for your patience and faith and all your persecuted tribulation that ye endure. Now, now this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. Now, this is a list of occult symbols. And these are world religions and occult symbols. And these are occult symbols. wannabe devil worship. Now see, you see all that I just showed, all that world occult symbols and world religions and occult symbols and occult terms and occult symbols and all that. Some wannabe devil worship. There's no such thing worshiping the devil. It's only one church. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established one church. One. Only one church. See? God is God. God don't have no opposition. God don't have no opposition. And so we're gonna go to the United Nations, gonna make it official. There's only one church. Criminal and civil charges at the International Criminal Court. All these man-made religious organizations, all that, the Catholic Church, Protestant Reformation Movement, the American Restoration Movement, and all these other man-made religious Moorish Temple, all the Nation of Islam, you're going criminal and civil charge. The new Black Panther Party, the Black Hebrew Israelite, all these Pan-Africans, all this junk, Scientology, all that criminal and civil charge. Criminal and civil charge. You're not getting away. Not getting away. So these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logos. I'm gonna get ready to end my Instagram video. After I end my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Periscope video. I just ended my Instagram video. Now I'm doing my Periscope video. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis in the county sheriff in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, June the 16th, 2019. The time for 4:52 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement support. Anti-gang, anti-gang. These are just a few of the free logo design websites you go to make anti-gang logo. Remember these words: coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now I just ended my Instagram video, and I know that it's a little late than usual that I'm doing my video, And the reason being because this weekend I'm off this weekend, and Saturday I was a little busy running errands and things. So when I got finished doing all that, I was kind of a little tired, so I got a little rested. And so, but since I'm off this weekend, I do 2 videos. So I'm still making my video today, and I'm gonna come back to make my video tomorrow. But like I said, I just ended my Instagram video, and this weekend is the Father's Day weekend, and so Father's Day weekend. But I'm gonna continue to complain. I'm gonna continue to speak out. People saying they are gang, and they are mob, they are stir. Then you put stir on the end. Merriam-Webster Stir, New International Dictionary, and Oxford English Dictionary. It gives you the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, and any and every other word. And then, people say they are boss, they are goon, they are thug, they are crook, they are hoodlum, they are mac, they are player, they are pimp, they are whore, they are hustler. They even say they are nigga. If you're a nigga, how nigga? But see, street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. People all over the earth communicate and use language. And so, examples of street slang: tic-tac-toe, hop, scotch. In music, examples of street slang: hip, hop, rock, roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, do, wop, beat, bop. Street slang, nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. When it comes, now we can go to Wikipedia, quick reference Wikipedia, and we can look up street slang for money, currency exchange, because people all over the earth use money, use currency in exchange, and they make up street slang for money, currency exchange. Here in the United States of America, examples of street slang for money, currency exchange: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamin's dead president. Ain't nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now, excuse. And so, don't let that sorority and fraternity mislead you. Now, I graduated high school. Have a high school diploma. It's important because when you talk about street slang and talking about communicating, use language. Well, I graduated high school, got a high school diploma, and I also have a few years of college. I haven't earned my associate degree yet in business administration, construction marketing from Monroe College Online. I do intend to go back because I'm having to pay them financial aid back, but I'm going back to Monroe College Online, earn my associate degree in business administration, construction marketing. Now, some people, they got a GED, and then they went on to college, university, earned a social degree, master degree, PhD. Then you have some people just didn't go to find school period for whatever reason. They didn't finish school. You don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, you don't know science, you don't know technology, and you don't know social studies. When it comes to vocational technical training, you don't know vocational technical training. On-the-job training is on-the-job training. Then you have those people that went further in school, they graduated high school, took the ACT, SAT, and earned a social degree, master degree, PhD, the sorority and fraternity. There's a reason why the pre-13 colony history is so important. The pre-13 colony history is so important. Harvard University is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776. The College of William and Mary is recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. And then you have the first women's fraternity in DuPont College, 18 something. And then you have them Old World Secret Society. They the basis of the sorority fraternity. Them Old World Secret Society. For example, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons. They be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390, 1425. Mentioned in the Holloway manuscript, the Regent's Poem, the Cook manuscript. And also the Dowling manuscript. Now examples of them Old World Secret Society. Skull and Bones, Rosicrucian, Sons of Living, the Thugs Society, the Private Scion, the Ordo Templarians, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the Ancient Arab Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Raymond, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Lower Order Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Pythias, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forester Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veil, Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grain, the Ancient Order of Hermanans, and then the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite. I mean, it's just a few. There's some more. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand. You say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. It's Costa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osiris. It's just a few. There's some more. And so don't let that sorority and fraternity mislead you. Being on a college and university campus, that don't mean they trying to do what's right. It means the opposite. Being the sorority and fraternity on the college and university campus, they commit crimes. They commit crime. Them initiation rituals want to be devil worship. The initiation ritual want to be devil worship. Hazing. The United States Department of Justice. Hazing is a crime. Hazing is they criminals. The sorority and fraternity are criminals. The Old World Secret Society, they criminals. Want to be devil worship. And there's no such thing, no worse than the devil. See, God is all powerful. God is all knowing. God is ever present. God is all over the place. God is in it and everywhere. God don't have no opposition. There's no opposition. God. He don't have no opposition. See, when you say devil worship, you lying. You lying. You lying. No such thing no word. And say, you remember this. You see all that poaching. Want to be devil worship. Want to be, see, all that animal sacrifice. That's what that poaching is. Want to be devil worship. You ever know some people that take their animals to the Humane Society? Guess what? Animal sacrifice. See, they eventually, some animals get euthanized down at the dog pound. The humane side, they try to keep dogging down at the local dog pound, like the local city, the dog pound. See, them dogs get euthanized, animal sacrifice. Now, when they come to human sacrifice, all this drugs only, you know what I'm talking about, drugs, human sacrifice, abortion, human sacrifice, gangs and mobs killing each other, all this gang literature, and you being against somebody in your own family, somebody next door, and human sacrifice. Some wannabe devil worship. There's no such thing. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. The sorority fraternity, they commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. They use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, cigars. They put drugs in the cigarettes, cigars. They indulge in gambling and games of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activities. Bribery, extortion. They lie, cheat, steal, assault, rape, molestation. Extortion and bribery. That's why. See, they indulge in all them immoral activities. They indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. See, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Whatever you do, don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. And so, don't join the sorority and fraternity. Get out the sorority and fraternity. Understand? Discourage others from being involved with the sorority and fraternity, and expose the sorority and fraternity. Renounce all those that started and began the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society. Renounce them. Denounce the whole concept and idea of fraternity and sorority and fraternities, them old world secret society. The sorority and fraternity, they commit crimes. Now, you know, the sorority and fraternity, they work for these businesses and they work and manage these businesses, companies and corporations. They use and misuse the background check. And they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing. They all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. See, don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. This is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Like those organizations we just mentioned, there's some more. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights, Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Voters, Earth Watch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice and Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, the Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, the Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, the Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network. Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. There are many more organizations such as the one we just mentioned. They trying to stop and end all the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity, the old world secret society, they be committed. They work and they manage all these businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity in these old world secret society. Don't forget them animal sacrifices, them human sacrifices. Don't forget the college and university campus. A gang and mob base is no such thing as no gang and mob base. Nowhere in this universe. Just like it ain't no such thing as devil worship. There's no such thing. Nowhere on this earth. And so it's a wannabe devil worship. And there's no such thing as devil worship. Nowhere in this universe. God. God. Now this is a place. Now this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Now there are state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where it says see also. The list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. And also, when we talk about that pirates, the slave trade and Cilicia and Tarsus. Then you had the East African slave trade and the West African slave trade and the pirates. And so, there's no such thing as a gang or mob base. Period. Nowhere on this earth. No, just like Cilicia and Tarsus. See, you remember the people that we were talking about, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Girgasites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Moabites, the Midianites, the Philistines, and all the rest of the people. Wannabe devil worshippers. Wannabe devil is no such thing, worshiping the devil. No such thing. And so there's no such thing as the East Coast being a gang or mob base. It's a lie that them criminals came over. That's where it come from. The Native Americans were already living here. The Native Americans, the first Americans, were already living here. They were already living here. Some of them criminals came over. They settled in a certain place. But see, when you settle, there were people who were already living here in the old world. And so the crimes that people commit, and them same criminals, they expanded out to Chicago, Illinois. There's no such thing as no gang or mob base. No such thing as Chicago, Illinois being a gang or mob base. No such thing as no Chicago, Illinois, and talking about the folk gang or my people gang. There's no such thing. Los Angeles, California, not a gang or mob base. There's no such thing. No blood gang, no Crip gang, no Stone gang. There's no such thing. Be lying. Don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. The Catholic Church, just like we got to wannabe devil worship, organized crimes, wannabe devil worship. The Catholic Church and all that Latin all their particular churches, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, the East Syrian Rite, and the West Syrian Rite. Organized crimes and want to be devil worship. The Protestant Reformation movement, churches, 95 Theses, and major branches, minor branches, interdenominational movement, other developments, and related movements. The American Restoration Movement, the Stone Campbell Movement, the Churches of Christ, the Unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregate, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. Organized crimes and won't be dealt with, that is the Catholic Church. That's the Catholic Church. And so, Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, is a liar. He's a murderer. He's the devil. He's the devil. Then you have all these other groups, all these other man-made religious groups. Scientology, the Mormons, the Amish, the Mennonites, the Zoroastrians had a prophet. Then you have Prophet Muhammad for the Sunni Muslim, and Prophet Ali, the Shiite Muslim. And Jim Jones, David Koresh. The Zoroastrian, they had a prophet. Okay, obviously. So, then you had all these other man-made religious groups. The Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. And so, the American Muslim Society. Now, the Moorish Science Temple, you had these groups. The Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Now, Khalid Muhammad, he was affiliated with the Nation of Islam and the New Black Panther Party. Black Hebrew Israelites, over there in Israel, Ben Ami, the Rastafarian movement. And so, then you have Saul from Tarsus, self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. And let me say this, all them Pan-Africanists, they be talking about the government and the economy and all that. It's all want to be devil worship. And Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, a liar, a murderer, the devil. He wrote all those epistles, and in those epistles he called himself an apostle. Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss, the church, with the suffix ES of Christ salute you. Another verse that the man-made religious organization used is Saul from Tarsus, self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, wrote 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix ES of God for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that ye endure. Now this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. And this is a list of occult symbols. Now these are world religions and occult symbols. And these are occult symbols. And so, and also when we were looking at Wikipedia, what was it? The Native Americans and the first Americans. When you scroll down to where it says "see also," and then list of place names for indigenous place of indigenous origin. For the pirates, same thing. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says "see also," and then you'll see books and references, and then you'll see further reading. Scroll out where it comes with piracy. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, "see also," and read those books. Let's think. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut this video. I'm gonna end this video. Then I'm gonna start another video. So just give me a brief moment. And it's gonna be titled, my name. And it's going to have today's date, June 16, 2019, part 1.